So, hey, Power fans, welcome back to Hot Nerd Network. I'm your host, Hot Nerd D, and today we're going to dive deep into the world of Power Book 4 Force. Joining me today, I have my amazing sister friend, Hot Nerd Kim. So, say hi, everyone.
Hey everyone, hey guys, hey power fans, hey hot nerds.
Period. But yes, before we get started, y'all know what to do. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. But yes, let's go ahead and get into it. First, we're going to start off with our episode recap. So, to start, this episode opens up with the ongoing investigation into CBI. Some details that make this even more layered are the murder of little K that we saw at the end of last episode, and a witness connecting a past murder to Victor and Tommy. Jenard and Walter still have to figure out how they're going to make payments. Walter to Dublin, Jenard to the Serbs, and to Miguel, and how to sell their product. Walter finds out, though, that Polly went behind his back to make a deal with Ireland. So now we'll see in a way how that kind of shakes out. We did see in the end, like he got mad, but we'll see if now we'll see any kind of further consequences. Jenard loses members and control over treason and even himself with the drugs that he's supposed to be selling, actually. Victor and Claudia decide to team up again. So we'll see if now their partnership will actually come to fruition. They make a deal with the Serbs to partner with them, and they also make a deal with each other to try to take out Walter, their own dad. So that's also a common theme that we see a lot throughout Power entire universe. Kids killing their parents, or even parents killing their kids. Tommy and Diamond are hiding secrets from each other. Diamond didn't tell Tommy that he owes a crooked cop Seamus money, or the cop will end up possibly turning him in for violating his parole. And this is also payment for his sister getting sick from a bad batch of drugs that was way back in the past from Tommy. Tommy ends up finding out, though, that
That was from Diamond.
huh?
The Bad Batch of Drugs was from Diamond.
Oh yes, Bad Batch of Drugs was from Diamond, not Tommy. Yes, thank you for getting that. So, but Tommy ends up finding out that Diamond is dealing with this
With
cop.
Pop.
So, well, we do see in the end how that ends up, because they tried to make a deal with him so that he could be like his inside man, but D-Mac comes
That
in,
other plane.
stopped in the show at the end and said, "Not today. You're not gonna try to take my Uncle Tommy out." So yeah, now that is exactly how the episode ended. So now we'll see exactly even how that very act now has its own ripple effects. But just to start out, what was your favorite part, or what was your most moving part in this episode?
My favorite part of this episode is when some of the members from Treason, they come in because they're upset about what's his name, K.
No, Jenard. Or no, Lil K, yeah, getting
Yes,
right.
they're upset because Lil K got killed, and they come in and they see what Jenard got going on, and they saying, "What is going on in here? Who you're doing you're doing your product? Like, what's going on in here?" That was my favorite part because I thought it was funny. That they were like, "What's like this is supposed to be a well-run organization, and our king, our head is smoking his own stuff." So that was my
Yeah.
favorite part. That was funny.
No, I definitely get you, because yes, like you said, like they're trying to come in thinking they're coming into an established business. People are gonna be, in line doing the things that they need to do, and they see, yes, once again, their faithful leader doing the product that they're supposed to be selling. So yeah, that was a funny part where he's like, "So this is what we are. This is
This
what we're
is what we're
doing
doing,
now." Like
right?
that's that's what we're doing. My one of my favorite or most alarming parts was definitely when uh the member of one of the gangs that's in the prison that they're selling the drugs through, or the other crew that's also selling drugs through the prison, when he tries to come and basically check Tommy. But as you know, Tommy,
Do what he do.
yeah, Tommy, he's too good for that. So we knew that that probably wasn't gonna go as planned, at least for that other guy's sake. So
And
once
went
again, it
back
just
on his
shows
day.
Tommy makes good on every promise. you're not gonna just catch Tommy slipping
Ever.
anywhere, even as casual as him going out with his plug sister, which we will get into because that may or may not actually be a good idea for him. But yeah, it just once again always shows that Tommy, he's prepared for whatever, whenever, and however. So,
And anybody at any time can
period.
and will. On a
What
date or
do
not,
you think of Jenard though this episode? Like, where do you see now his like trajectory going?
oh, Jenard is going downhill. Jenard is in a bind. He owes money. He killed one of his own people. Now they are upset and they're rebelling against him. They don't even want to sell the product. He is not a good leader. He does not have his soldiers in line. They're not all on the same page. He is destined for failure. I don't know what that failure will be for him, jail, death, whatever. But oh yeah, he's going down. Treason is a fallen empire,
Yeah.
unsuccessful, poorly ran. He should have never left his brother. Just
Mm.
just a typical hot head in power that just cannot sustain on their own.
Ooh, you make a good point, that typical hothead, and how it's just hard to kind of maintain control like when you're so easily angered. So do you think that also can be like a future demise for Tommy? Because as you see, and from even previous the original Power series, Tommy is known for being a hothead and just reacting so quickly. So how do you even see, even in that context, Tommy's kind of future going forward?
Tommy is a hothead, but I will say he also does have level-headed people in his corner. I think that's one thing that he
Mhm.
does. That's one advantage is like he at least he'll find a balance. Janard
Right.
doesn't really do that. Like Diamond is a balance, or like in the past, Ghost was a balance. Like he keeps at least some level-headed people around him, and he does not. He doesn't do everything on his own. He always has a partner, or always is trying to work with somebody.
Mm.
So yes, that is his downfall. It gets him in a lot of messy situations. I'm always surprised when they get out of him, but he does. So yeah, I don't. That's one advantage Tommy has, but I don't. I mean, being a hothead and running an organization like that is just never good. So
Wow, yes, you very good point too, even in that, like just having support and how much that matters, and how we can see just by the simple fact that treason is losing members now, like they don't trust each other, like, and everybody's kind of just flipping from side to side, and how it's so hard, even on top of that, to also be angry, to also be impulsive, to also, not want to think clearly. I think what kind of Jenard keeps running into is that he's thinking reactively and not proactively. Like he's thinking after the fact. Like he's thinking now after he's already killed little K. Like he's thinking now after all of these things are already in place. And it's like it's hard to try to fix something, when it's already
and you
broken.
don't
Like,
right. You don't think about it when you did
right.
it.
Right. And so, but like you said, like Tommy, even though he does have similar tendencies, he does always have like that sounding board. He does always have like a strong partner, like you said, like mentioning Ghost or mentioning Diamond, someone who does kind of keep a more level headedness, or someone who does like think a little bit more in terms of long term strategy. I think what I did enjoy though so far, like within this season specifically, is that you do see Tommy now trying to lean more into being more strategic, trying to lean more, being more diplomatic, like as he said in the last episode, or try to have that balance. But once again, Tommy's kind of like true to his nature, and if things go astray or things don't go the way that he said that they
He'll
were supposed to go, he's going to do something about that. And you know, how many times did Ghost have to plead with him? Or, how many times have we already even seen within this season Diamond having to plead with him? It's like we're seeing in a way Tommy's growth and his evolution, but at the same time, like those,
they're needed. They're
yeah, those
pivotal in his life.
tendencies could come up and quickly kind of deter like his plan, or put
His
them
progress.
yeah, exactly, like set them back. So that will be interesting to kind of see and continue unraveling, because we're seeing so heavily now, like when you don't have the resources like Jenard, or like when you don't have the connections, when you don't have people in your corner, you can have all the ambition, or you can have all the want, or you can have all of that, but at the same time, like if you don't have those other kind of pieces in place, like you're still not going to get on top, like you're still not going to have the same level of effect that they do in this same kind of business. So that's really interesting. What do you think in terms of the Flynn family, or what do you think of Claudia specifically in this episode? Do you think that she can kind of maneuver her way on top, or what do you think that their kind of like trajectory will be?
I'm rooting for Claudia because nobody wants the misogynistic patriarchy to win. Like, it is insane that she's so talented, has the brains, and is not given the opportunity to like run. Like, she can run the organization better probably than her father and her brother. So I'm rooting for her and her takeover. I think what they're doing is, I mean, smart business is business. Is that's
Mm.
what it is. And she takes that approach. So I mean, I see her trajectory as successful because she's smarter than the people around her, and that's all she needs. So
That is true. We actually see the competency in Claudia versus like in a way, she does mirror her father in terms of competency to be able to run a business of this magnitude. But what I think her father, which has been kind of like a reoccurring theme or statement that we even brought within this podcast, is that he's just so traditional that he doesn't want to move or adapt or try to change or try to see things from a different perspective. Like he's like, this is how it's been done, this is how it's been done for years, and there's no adjustments that needs to be made, no matter how much someone is trying to kind of advise him or try to encourage him otherwise. Like even his right hand man Paulie, like time and time and time again, like pleading with him, like also being his sounding board. But once again, it's like if that influence isn't as strong, or it isn't seen as equal, like I would say, like how Diamond and Tommy are per se, and like their partnership, it's gonna get overlooked. And it's like, you know, you can't listen to Polly like after everything has already hit the fan, after everything is already, in shambles. Like he's trying to, stay
be
afloat.
proactive,
Yeah, exactly. Trying to be proactive instead of so reactive, which
reactive.
is a good, yeah, which is a good connection too between Jenard and Walter. How,
They're very reactive.
yeah, they think after the fact, or they think things are just kind of almost gonna just naturally kind of fall into
Work
place. Like,
out.
oh yeah, little K, he broke rank. He disrespected me. He disobeyed me. Of course, I had to do that. And it's like,
And then you think everybody's just gonna fall in line and keep
right,
doing what they're
exactly. Just
supposed to
fall in
do. Like
line
that's
and use that mindset. It's like, no. At the
no.
same time, there's X, Y, and Z that you haven't considered, and he's just, both of them are always just kind of just standing there, looking there, kind of dumb, like, oh yeah, I guess. Oh yeah, I guess maybe I shouldn't have done that this way.
Right.
Maybe I shouldn't
Waiting
have.
for somebody to save them.
Yes, that is true. Wow, interesting point. Because it's like, I wonder what may even be the catalyst for that, or be the catalyst for Diamond to like want to possibly try to come in and save his brother. Like what situation would they now have to be in for that to actually happen? Because I do agree, like Walter and Jenard, they kind of put themselves always into situations wh- like needing someone else
Right.
to intervene. Like they literally can't handle it on their own. If someone doesn't intervene, like it's
They're
always
dead.
go astray.
They're dead. Gerard needed bad. He's down bad.
Yes, I do love that he's with the girl from the gym. And she does seem to be a nice sounding board, but once again, like since he doesn't necessarily see her as an equal, or doesn't see her as like an actual partner, he overlooks, once again, he's overlooking what she's trying to say, like where she tried to warn him, don't go after little K, like treason will fall apart if you do that. Like, they are not going to be with that. Like, you might be the leader right now, or, like, we might be under your orders, but if you want to, try to keep some sort of harmony, like, you should think a little bit further than this. And he's like, nope, nope, I have to do this, or I have to do this way. And also too, it's like Jenard also puts himself into positions where it's like he has no other choice. Like, he doesn't have a choice in a lot of these things. And so he's like constantly putting himself into situations where
Backing himself in a corner
yes.
all the time. Putting
Hmm.
yeah, where he forces his own hand. He thinks he's
Hmm.
forcing his own hand.
Hmm. And that makes an interesting point too, like being backed in the corner, and how, how their background is in boxing, or, like we constantly see him in the boxing ring, or how we see Diamond, being a mentor to the little boy in the boxing ring, and how, constantly their backs are up against the wall, and it's like,
Mhm.
what do I do now in this situation? Like, even trying to teach the little boy, like, this is how you defend yourself, or even for Jannar, like, this is how, I kind of maneuver or weasel my way out of these different things that, are constantly having my back against the wall. It's just, will there come a point where, it's no longer just your back against the wall? Like, somebody's really going to either eliminate you, or, in some other way, kind of just get rid of you altogether.
Man,
So how long, in a way, like, will this
can
even
you
last?
right? How long can you hold be against the? Can your back be against the wall?
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. So yes, kind of switching into some common themes, or like symbols that we're seeing in this show. In the past, like we talked about alliances, rivalries, vengeance, even. So I think within this episode, something that I noticed kind of heavily is the theme, or the symbol of secrecy, and how, either secrets can like hiding something from someone can kind of lead you into even greater mess, or it can also even be seen, I think, in this context, as a form of protection. Like, sometimes, like, the less you know is better. So how would you describe, like, secrecy in this episode, or how did you see that play out? And do you think, like, it is helpful in this context, or it's more harmful?
I think you see the secrecy between Diamond and Tommy. Diamond won't tell him like the whole what's really going on with the cop that he keeps seeing.
Mhm.
I think that secrecy does not. I don't think it's good. Like I think that in the organization, or like in this context, like you have to be truthful because there are so many working hands, there are so many moving pieces, like so many like things are so intertwined. If you're hiding something, then I don't get like the full context, and I don't know
Yeah.
what's really going on behind the scenes, and then I can mess something up that you have going on. Like I do not agree like with the sequel. I'm not gonna say I don't agree, but I don't think it's smart to be secret in these type of like dynamics. Like it just yeah, your intentions may be good, but you don't know how the person's going to react when they find out. Like for example, Tommy, when he finds out, or like when he realizes that he's been lied to, like that type of betrayal. It doesn't pan out well. So it's not smart. Like that secrecy is not smart to me in these types of environments.
Mm, yes, I agree, because, like you said, like, speaking to the point of, I need to know all the information so that I can act appropriately. If I only know half, I'm only,
I can
operating
only
on
react to that
half. And
half.
there could be kind of like, speaking to the point, or the title of this episode, like the devil's in the details. Like, if you're kind of giving me more generalized statements of, or even lies, to that degree, like, I don't have the full scope now. I don't have all the details that I need to properly kind of like execute this plan, because in a way they could have dealt with the cop in a different manner. But in instead, like, Tommy, has to follow Diamond around, tries to see really what's going on, and then almost Tommy was about to take Diamond out. Like, he's
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't know what y'all do over here in Chicago, but wait, back in New York, we take out snitches. So what are you really doing? Like,
Doing.
and he's, Tommy's track record. He's taken out plenty of people who were considered, either inconvenience to him or the business, or, even potentially being a snitch. His own dad, in the original Power series. And so I do agree. Like, just specifically in the context of the show and in the context of their environment and in the context of like what they're doing. Like secrets do kind of lead to bigger messes or things that could have been circumvented if they had known that information in a way prior. But I kind of want to talk about too, like in the context of DMAC though, like and how secrets or them trying to hide things from him was in a way for his protection. So do you see the benefit, I guess, even in that way? Or do you see that even being helpful to some degree in a way to try to shield someone or try to, not make someone as involved within this whole process?
Yes and no, because yes, you're trying to keep it from DMAC because he has like better opportunities, better things. But all that did was make him yearn for it more. So it's kind of like it's a catch, it's
Mm.
a catch 22 or like a it's damned if you do, damned if you don't type of thing. Because
Wow.
all he wanted to do was like be in it more, and especially because uh the I guess the kind of lifestyle it brings, that's the kind of lifestyle he want. He want the girls, they want guys with money. He knows that guys with money got do this, and he knows that his uncle's doing it, but his uncle telling him no. It's just like it's
Wow.
like it's good and it's bad, and all it did was make him want to jump off the porch more. So I mean, I think that like a good way is to expose him to it, but like I mean, not to say that they should expose him to it, but let him know what's going on, but let him know like, hey, like this isn't, you can see it, but this isn't what you want to do because it could lead to this, this, and this. Or use him in a
Mm.
more strategic way. He want to be in it so bad. Play to his strength and what he could help with if he wants to be in it that bad. Similar to you, Tariq. All he did was beg his father, and then it just made him yearn for it more.
Well, Tariq and D-Mac, they definitely have a lot of similarities, but Tariq is a whole different case study because absolutely no, like he wasn't even within like he
At all.
almost inserted himself. Like D-Mac is kind of somewhat, he kind of grew up, like this is actually his environment. Tariq literally like said,
Big,
"Hey, coach,
big.
yeah, put me in, coach. I'm ready."
Put me in the game
Coach was
goes.
like, "You're not ready for anything. You need to go to school." Like,
Cool.
it's like, no. Okay, if you won't do it, then I'll reach out to Kaden, 56 character. It's like that, yes. So they could be studied simultaneously together, and it'll be interesting to see the points of comparison. But you make up a really good point in terms of when they hide things or hide specific details, how alluring it can make it to want to know more. So same, I think even in the context um of Diamond and Tommy, like
You're
since
hiding it.
he didn't give him the full scope of what was going on. It's like Tommy
Tommy
knew that
wanted
things
to
were
dig.
being hidden from him, like even though this could be in some sort of context a more generalized statement, like there's still things I know that you're hiding from me. And so alert him to want to, go after him, want to go and follow him, really want to see like exactly what is going on. And so that is a good point. It's like if you don't kind of give everybody the full scope, or if you don't let someone in truly to what is really going on, they're now going to start, filling in the gaps for themselves, or they're now going to act on their own volition and want to, find out that information. And then once again, that can lead to different things that could have been circumvented, because it's like Diamond, you really could have lost your life if like if you really didn't come clean then, because like Tommy is, he makes
No
it very clear
nonsense.
he's not one to play with in terms in this context. Like, if you are becoming an inconvenience or if you're becoming a problem for me, I eliminate every single problem that comes in my way. And I have no issue doing that with you. Like, once again, I think if that was the outcome, that would have definitely, had later implications for Tommy, because hothead Tommy without, his sounding board there to kind of level him out would obviously kind of lead him, into different kind of situations that he doesn't want to be in too. And then it also brings up um as well, like Miguel's sister Maria and Tommy, and how,
Diamond
it's
didn't know
how it's
anything about that.
yeah, and then how it's even for the cops, like how it's alluring for them since they don't have all of the information yet or don't know exactly like the full
What the
scope of Tommy's business and what they're really doing in CBI, like makes them want to, go and, stake them out or, follow them, take pictures. And then now, once again, now this uncovers that he's messing with the plug sister, which is, he's already been pre warned that that was not going to be a good idea. It's funny, even it's coming from her too. It's
her
like, this is not, I am not the girl
the
that
one.
you want to go after right now. Like, my brother, everybody that deals with my brother in some way, form, or fashion dies. So if you want to be next, that is on you. But it's almost like now he's like intertwining her even into that. And so it's like, once again, a lot of people are getting allured to that or, wanting to know more. And it's like the more they uncover, it's like now how is this all really going to unfold? Miguel is not going to be happy that he's talking to his sister, like especially too because even in past episodes, his mother has also kind of like intervened as well, and had to kind of come and set him straight, like this is not what we're supposed to be doing. Why are you even messing with Tommy, like all of those different type of things. And so it's like now if he even finds out another layer that he's messing with his sister, it could just kind of blow their whole plan out of proportion. It's like Tommy, he has his goals and he has them set and he's on a good trajectory to kind of hit them, but
He just gotta mix it up. He just gotta
yes,
do
he
something.
he cannot stay focused. It's like he'll be doing
Ever.
good, for a long time, and then he'll hit up the girl to be like, "You want to go practice driving?" It's like, Tommy,
Why? You
right?
could
You
have.
have a lot of
You
other
could have.
things
You
that
could have
you
did
can.
anything.
Right, you have a lot of you have a lot of time on your hands. You don't have a lot of time on your hands, and you're choosing to kind of put yourself into danger. And then I think it was interesting that scene where they were driving and the train was coming and how he was like almost getting excited for the
Danger.
potential danger,
Yeah.
like, ooh, you better go, you better keep going, we're gonna get hit. And it's like that once
He
again,
loved it. He
yeah,
loves the
he
rush.
likes that, he
He
likes
loves
the
the rush.
danger, like he likes you know even
Pressure.
this, yeah, even the secrecy of it all, like trying to like hold things in, it's like it all like kind of just feels his ego, like it all kind of plays into like his persona overall. But once again, it's like, Tommy, you don't want these
You don't
problems.
have to do these
Yes,
things.
you
Like there
don't
are a
have to
million
do these
people you
things.
could choose, and
Yes,
you choose
yes,
danger. You choose violence.
yes, but continues, almost sometimes like letting the wrong people in, or having um even having that now as a strong influence that is now like being a louder voice to him than reasoning, then Diamond saying, hey, that's not a good idea, even her saying, hey, this actually isn't a good idea. It's just in a way just how Tommy is wired to just love danger, or love, like, in a way,
He loved to walk
keeping
on the
this
wild
from
side.
them just so that he can kind of maintain that sort of control, like with even like within himself. So that's interesting. I wonder, how these kind of different secrets are going to play out, because also even the secret of Claudia and Victor now wanting to team against Walter, their own dad, um,
Mm.
and how that will truly unfold. Because, I will say, even Walter is also too, obviously a man of his word as well. Like, of course, since he's so traditional, so kind of like by the book, like he will also follow through on the things that he says he'll do as well. And so in terms of like when he finds out that
Kids,
his own family are plotting against him, like
they
how
better take him out
that
before he
might
do.
really play out.
They better take him out before he do, because I'm sure he'll take out his own kids behind it.
Yes. no, Claudia has already been
On
on
the
his
chopping
neck.
block.
Like Claudia is already like
She
he's like,
hanging on
you
by a
got one
thread.
more account to try to close, like you got one more trick up your sleeve
Time.
before you are eliminated entirely. Like and but for Victor, um who I think oh yeah, for Victor, it'll be interesting to see like if he did kind of allow his sister to know like no, I'm like working with him to try to be in his inner circle so I can get my revenge on Gloria. um
For Gloria.
but so now that his like kind of secret plan is like has been unveiled with Claudia, like how that will even go.
It's
Like
beneficial because now she with it. She's
yeah,
with it.
now
She's like, I
she's with
like
it.
that.
It's like now once
That's how you
again
shouldn't
now
keep
that
secrets.
it's like I
That's
could
I
have we
like
could
that.
have been on this
Right. I
on
like
this
that.
plan with each other. But so yeah, it's funny because this is the second time that they have agreed to work with one another. Um because interestingly enough, like beforehand, like why they didn't want to work with each other is because of a secret. So or like because she's not allowing him to know all the ins and outs of how things are going. And so again, like when someone doesn't know all the information, they in a way they don't know how to play their hand. Like they don't know how
How
they're
to
supposed to move, or they don't know what they're really supposed to do. And in a way it just shows like a lack of respect, I think, especially in this context. And with a lack of respect, it's that also leads to other issues and things kind of coming astray, because then people kind of feel like they have to defend themselves, like, or they have to kind of show why you should respect them. And that kind of just opens up a whole different can of worms, instead of kind of treating people as their equal, but constantly trying to put people in their place, or trying to always have like the power dynamics always kind of being in play, like when they're doing their different things, or in these different kind of situations. So woo, secrecy, I think we can conclude in this context, it just don't work. It just
it
don't
doesn't.
work.
It causes more chaos. It causes more trouble than you're really trying to like. Your intentions just don't pan out. It never does. It really doesn't.
Hmm. Was interesting now to kind of even transition into like our character analysis. So we talked about secrecy and how it can basically like lead you astray. And so how do you see like secrecy even playing into the context of betrayal, or how would you now describe like some of how the characters are feeling in the context of betrayal because of so many secrets? Like for example, like little K getting murdered, or even Diamond lying to Tommy, or even Maria and Miguel. Like how do you see like secrets playing into possibly ending up somebody being betrayed by them?
Um, like in the context of like is Little K? That's his name, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
Like in like for that context, like it's bad for Jenard because like now his organization is falling apart. It was almost bad for Tommy and Diamond for him for like Diamond keeping that secret. I mean, it still is bad because like they come together to kind of like, well, once Tommy finds out, he's like, all right, well, let's make this work to both of our advantage. They get the cop there, then he gets killed. So it's just like the secret, like the theme of secrecy, it just always like leads to more like chaos. I don't know if that answered your question.
Yeah, no, that definitely kind of plays into it, because like now we see like the chaos like turning into potential like opportunities of being betrayed. So in a way, even Jenard um going after little K to kind of avenge,
He
or to kind of check him for taking a shot at Tommy, you know, led him
you
to,
betrayed your crew, but you betrayed
yeah,
you betrayed your foot soldiers doing that.
exactly. So no, I definitely think you kind of hit the nail on the head in terms of like the chaos and how that just kind of leads to, having to make decisions that can make you want to have to turn your back on people that, that wasn't necessarily expected to, or, it can just lead to other issues, or, lack of trust in a way. Cause yeah, like I agree. Like his crew definitely felt betrayed by him, because this is somebody, that we trusted. This is somebody that, that we grown to love and have a lot of respect for. And for you as our leader to kind of
Take them out.
not even take what we're saying into context, or not even take what we're saying into account, definitely feels like a huge betrayal. Like definitely feels like, like you turned your back on something in a way that you stood for. Like treason was supposed to be family, treason, we were supposed to stick together, when CBI and others betrayed us. And so, for you to kind of continue this cycle,
Like,
it's not, it doesn't, align.
betrayal, yeah, betrayal's not even as serious for you as long as it's not in your like on your context. Like betrayal, I guess it has like
Mm.
gray areas. As long as you don't feel betrayed, it's fine. But if other people feel betrayed, that's on them.
Mm, that is interesting too, like the gray area in that. And then how we do see a lot of our characters, specifically in this episode too, like kind of leading with more selfish ambition, like leading it. And that's why they did want to kind of keep those secrets. Like, I'm going to do me, and I don't have to worry about, how someone else is feeling, or how someone, or how someone else can be affected by this. And so I think that when Tommy, approached Diamond, that was like a clear example of that. Like, hey, like since I don't have all of the information, now I have to kind of come and see like what you're
What's
doing.
going
And then
on?
once again, like that feels like a betrayal. Like, since you didn't want to really let me in, now I have to kind of go behind your back to see like what you're really doing. And, just for this to all unfold when you could have told me the truth, like you could have told me, really what was going on. And then it wouldn't feel, as though like I had to, like, in a way, take matters into my own hands for this to actually work out. I think another clear example was Walter and Polly in this episode, and how at the end Walter is checking Polly for, betraying him once again, and like going behind his back, making a backhand deal with Dublin to try to, get them out of, muddy
That
water that they're in with them. And like you said, like Polly didn't necessarily see that in the context of
a
betrayal,
betrayal.
because he
Mhm.
is trying to help, or, like he is trying to, keep things afloat. But once again, to Victor, I mean, not to Victor, but to Walter, who, wasn't privy that he was going to meet with them, feels as though he just went behind his back, and that he, maneuvered and did things, his own way, without necessarily even affect, seeing how it was going to affect them later on. Because Walter brought up the point, it's like, I know in a way, like you're trying to help the family, but you just ruined my reputation. Like you just ruined my name. It looks like I can't handle my business now. Like it looks like I can't, do the things that I said I was going to do. Like, so like you said, like there is that gray area of like who, like what really is like betrayal,
Betrayal.
and it
Hmm.
does matter like who feels betrayed, because that is the one who's kind of gonna act upon it. So like you said, like there's no like real clear cut example in terms of like, no, this was just betrayal overall on both sides. There is a gray area where, well, you may think that this is betrayal, but this was actually me trying to help. Or you may think that
Business
this
move.
was betrayal, or me trying to, hide things from you. But in reality, like DMAT, and for example, like I'm really actually trying to protect you. But once again, like I think just the overall arching theme of this episode, it's like when people don't know, or
Everything
have
going on.
all the information to truly make that decision for themselves, it will feel like a sting, or it will feel like an imbalance, or it will feel like okay, like you did, you sneak, like you're being sneaky about it. Like you didn't want to really tell me. And in a way, when you have to do that, it's because you're trying to like maneuver within your like own kind of like selfish ambitions. And in a way, like, is that beneficial, or can that actually really help in this context or within this show? It's like, don't think so. Like the more people,
Hasn't.
yeah, the more the right people or the people that need be know the things that they need to know, like in a way, the
The better
smoother
the
that
result.
this could go. Because overall, like they're in chaos, like 24/7 chaos. Like there's no peace in in a way
In
in this show.
Chicago,
Yeah,
right?
it's just constant state of war, trying to find those moments of peace. And when like you hide things, or you don't allow someone to know the full scope of really what's going on, you're just adding more, more to the war, instead of trying again to find those pockets of peace. Which was interesting, what we kind of discussed last recap, in terms of like that juxtaposition between war and peace. And can you really have both simultaneously, or are they just constantly in a state of war, trying to find just those moments of peace to kind of hold on to, and try to keep so within themselves? So that is interesting. We'll definitely see, as the season kind of continues to unravel, like how some of these things that could have definitely been avoided or circumvented, specifically in this episode, by just telling the truth,
True.
how now they just have so many other layers on top of the layers that, were that they already had,
Already.
that had to deal with. Like, because since Lil K, when he took a shot at Tommy and killed that little girl, that was already, putting, enormous amount of eyes. Now that little K is also dead, it just
Yeah.
continues more eyes. And now that the cop is dead, it's like more eyes. So
Right.
more of these things where it's like, if people really just knew truly what was going on and what
One.
wasn't, it's like a lot of these
Block
things.
wouldn't be so hot.
Yeah, a lot of these things just really wouldn't be happening. Or they could have found moments of peace in that and kind of worked it out on their own.
Or yeah, better ways to go about it.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So what are your predictions, like with all of what happened this episode? What do you think is coming up in episode 5, or within the
The
rest
rest
of
of
the
the
season?
season. I don't know what's gonna happen with this cop thing. I'm always interested to see how they get out of like stuff like that. Like you killed a cop. Like how do y'all? I'm always like intrigued about how they cover those up. I think Gerard is going to continue to fall, demise. I don't really think Diamond is gonna come save him, or honestly should come save him. Like
Hmm.
that's just a unnecessary like power. Y'all can I don't know. Y'all might can get rid of that. And then I think like I'm interested. I don't know how it's gonna go with Walter and his kids. I'm interested to see that too. Because I wonder if they really want to take out their father. So
But
that's
like that is not so uncommon.
common. Yeah, it
Specifically
isn't.
in Power Universe, we have lots of characters who end up wanting to take out their own parents.
Yeah,
So
take
no,
out
those are
parents, best
good.
friends, kids, anybody gets it.
So no, those are definitely good predictions. I don't know, like I see it where, because Victor and Claudia, like in the past episodes, were, beefing in a way, like they did not want to work together. But now to kind of see them kind of come together, which has also kind of been my running past prediction as well, is that I do kind of see not Tommy, but Diamond and Jenard like
Teaming
finding
back
their
up.
way back to one another and being able to kind of join forces. I wonder if, there would be, again, this is also some of my prediction too from past recaps, is, Tommy is going to do something that, just pushes Diamond so far away from him that he does have to, like,
Go, go back with
team up,
brother.
yeah, and team up with his brother to kind of take them all down. Or, even if they would team up with the other set of siblings, with the Flynn's, and, kind of
Be a
create this like
powerhouse.
super house of siblings tried to take over Chicago. But no, I definitely think that somehow, some way they're going to find a way back to each other, because I also think another overarching theme, within this show is family, like, and the importance of family, and how they're trying to kind of mend and build those like strong relationships too. I am also team Claudia. Like, I do want to see her win. She had to every episode it's like one thing after another. No one ever gives her a break. But yeah, she still kind of comes with different strategies, like different ideas, and so it's hard to keep somebody like Claudia down. It was
Down.
interesting in the show when she was talking to the Serbs. He did bring up that point, like, wow, like, you got a lot of balls under that dress, and she was like, yes, I do, because in a way, like, she, like, to be respected sometimes, like,
He
in this
has to.
business, like, she has to, like, act like a man, or like, do things that were typically reserved for men within this context, or specifically, I think, in the context of what her father likes to explain it, like, this is women's business, or this is men's business, and this is your place, this is my place, this is your brother's place. And so, always having to overcome every single one of those layers every episode, I think is making her stronger, and is like making her more formidable. And so, it will be interesting to see like what, kind of comes out of her like master plan, because I know she's just like bringing her, trying to drag her brother along, like, because in a way she needs, support, like how we talked about earlier, like she you do kind of need
People.
numbers. Yeah, you need numbers, you need people to, have like a successful business, or as big of a business as her father, or like Miguel, or even like the Serbs. So yes, we shall see, though. I am excited to, continue watching the show and seeing how all of these unfold. But yes, thank you. That is a wrap for today's Hot Nerd Network's Power Book 4 Force episode. So thank you again, Kim, for
Thank
joining us today and giving us your insights. I'm excited to see, if some of your predictions come true. But yes, thank you again for coming and sharing your thoughts. And yes, don't forget to everyone to like, comment, and subscribe. And definitely tune in next week for our recap of episode 5.
you. Bye.